While your natal north node is extremely important to know, so are north node transits. And the house that the north node is currently transiting for you gives you the complete story on where exactly you are supposed to grow next and where you can achieve more abundance. So in this video, I want to give you a complete rundown of what it means for the north node to be transiting each house in your chart. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabelle, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we are doing a quick rundown of what it means to have the north node transiting each house for you. I got a lot of feedback on this after I published a video on what it means to have the north node transiting different planets in your chart. I got a lot of people asking, what does it mean to have the north node transiting each house? So I wanted to do a quick rundown on what that means. So in this video specifically, I'm going to cover a quick recap on what the difference is between the natal north node and the north node transiting, and then go through what it means to have the north node transiting each house specifically, first house through 12th house. I also want to cover how you can exactly find out what house the north node is transiting for you, both for your sun horoscope and your rising. And before I dive in any further into today's video, be sure to book a reading in the link in the description below where we can dive deeper into your natal birth chart, as well as what house the north node is currently transiting for you. So if this is a topic that interests you, if you want to know where the universe is calling you to grow right now, book a reading down below where we can dive deep into where you are meant to go next in your soul's journey based off the stars of now and how that affects your birth chart. So first things first, let's compare what is the difference between your natal north node and your transiting north node, because I get a lot of questions about this and people get confused. Like Isabelle, my north node's in Aquarius, but it says right now it's in Pisces. Does that mean my growth has changed? Simply put, the natal north node is your highest path of growth over this lifetime. It's what you're reaching towards, or what's most uncomfortable or hardest for you to do over this lifetime. It's what's going to give you the most purpose and material reward, and it's like the missing piece to the puzzle in the story that is your life. However, that can be a huge journey. That's your lifetime journey. The transiting north node is your next step in that journey. It's the next step for you to take. It's where the universe is calling you towards growing to next in order to achieve your natal north node journey. So simply put, if it feels like your natal north node journey is overwhelming, the current transiting north node is like your bite-sized growth, your next step to take, simply put. So wherever the north node is currently transiting is arguably, I would say, one of the most important transits to note. If you are going to note just one transit in the stars, I would only note the north node transit, simply because it tells us where we are growing towards next. It's where we are going to be, or why we are going to be experiencing certain lessons, why lessons are coming up. It comes back to where the north node is transiting, because that's what the universe wants you to learn and grow into next. But while there is a sign that the north node is transiting, for example, right now in Pisces, that just gives us the theme on what energies we are learning. And it really doesn't help us unless we know what house it's transiting, because the house it is transiting is telling us where we are supposed to be learning these energies. For example, with it being in Pisces right now, we're all learning compassion, empathy, and spirituality, focusing on how things feel rather than what we do. Less on materialism, more on spirituality. But some of us are supposed to be learning this in our relationships. Some of us are supposed to be learning this in our career. Some people are learning this in their home life, and that is all dependent on the house that the north node is transiting in for you. So how do you find what house the north node is transiting for you? It's actually pretty simple. All you have to do, so to say, and this might be still overwhelming with some people, so I'm going to try to break this down simply, is step one, pull up your birth chart. And hopefully I will remember to put my own birth chart on the side here. And we're going to use this in relevant example for right now, because you're probably watching this video to understand where the north node is transiting right now. And maybe this is going to be a video that gets watched over time and less applicable, but still. The north node is transiting Pisces. And so what I want you to do is go and find Pisces on your birth chart. For me, I know it's down in the bottom. And so once you find where Pisces is in your birth chart, I want you to zoom in and find what houses are there. For me, I know that my third and my fourth house are really over Pisces territory. And if you're using whole sign houses, this can be a little bit of an easier process. But simply put, to find what house the North Node is transiting for you is finding the sign, so in this case Pisces, and then looking at what house is associated. So for me, with the North Node moving in reverse, so being at 29 degrees of Pisces, which you'll see in this case, I will show the green symbols on the outer wheel. It's currently in my fourth house. It will eventually transit my third house. And if this is already still overwhelming and you still don't know how to do that, you can also simply put, if you go to any sort of astrology website to pull your chart, sometimes they will have a table chart for what houses go in what signs. So just go find Pisces and see what house it says that is for you. And that'll tell you what house the North Node is transiting. And if that is even still confusing for you, there's also going to be your sun sign horoscope, because if you're doing it this way, by looking at the chart, finding Pisces and looking what house that is for you, that's going to be your rising sign horoscope, which is going to be more so how it appears in a mundane way. If you're looking at things simplistically or in more materialistic outlook, less from a place of purpose. If you're looking more so for how this is affecting you in your lifetime purpose, why you were put here on earth, your sun sign horoscope is actually more likely to resonate. So to do this, you're going to go find your sun sign. In this case for me, I can see that Aries is, or my sun is in Aries. So find your sun sign in your chart, which is going to be that little circle with the dot in the middle. And I want you to count counterclockwise to Pisces. So for me, I would go all the way around the horn and count 12 signs away. Starting off with wherever your sun sign is, that is 1. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for me. So that means that the North Node is transiting my 12th house. So you can do the same for you. If you're a Cancer sun, starting off counting Cancer as number 1, count counterclockwise until you hit Pisces, and then whatever number you get, that's going to be the house it's transiting for you. If this is still a confusing topic and you guys want me to break this down more, let me know in the comments below. But I don't want to take much more time talking about what house it means, because I think that chances are if you're watching this, you already know what house Pisces North Node is currently transiting for you, or whatever North Node is currently transiting right now. So without further ado, let's go into a quick overview of what it means to have the North Node transiting each house. And if you want me to go into this even further, if you want me to go into a specific house even further, comment below. If the North Node is transiting your first house, you are growing into more sense of self-identity. This also means that the South Node is transiting your 7th house, so you're releasing wounds and letting go of what no longer serves you in your relationships, your one-on-one friendships and partnerships, so that you can grow into further owning your sense of self, your sense of identity, and owning really who you want to be in this world. This really means that you are up-leveling and growing who you are. So you can have massive identity shifts and massive changes in who you are in the story in which you play in this world, changing your role in society and changing who you want to be in the world. In short, you are growing into more self-sufficiency and self-independence and growing into who you are. If the North Node is transiting your 2nd house, you are growing into financial stability and self-worth. Wealth and worth go hand in hand with the 2nd house. And with this also means that the South Node is transiting your 8th house. So you're cleansing, releasing, and detoxing what no longer serves you in your intimate, codependent relationships so that you can make more space to grow into more self-sufficiency and self-worth. This often means financial expansion, but also growing your sense of self-worth by challenging your old beliefs. If the North Node is transiting your 3rd house, you are growing into your daily network and less away from your personal ideologies. With the North Node transiting your 3rd house, that means that the South Node is transiting your 9th house. And that means that you're cleansing, releasing, detoxing what no longer serves you in your personal beliefs and ideologies, as well as your travels. So if you're someone who travels a lot, you're prioritizing this less in order to make more space for the North Node in the 3rd house, which is focusing on having a daily network, communicating on a day-to-day basis, and focusing on the words that are spoken on a day-to-day basis. This probably also means that in some way you may be growing into what you're learning and teaching, that is objective information. Instead of focusing on your personal ideologies, you're learning to share your knowledge in social means. So this could be through your daily network, social media, reading, publishing something, writing a book, or sharing some form of digital course. There is a focus on sharing your knowledge. If the North Node is transiting your 4th house, you are growing towards your home and family, whether that is cultivating your relationship with your family, with your children, changing the place you live, or changing your home itself. With the North Node transiting your 4th house, this means that the South Node is transiting your 10th house. And that means that you're prioritizing less your career and public image and more focusing on how you feel at home, growing towards your home, growing towards creating a home that feels good for you. If the North Node is transiting your 5th house, that means the South Node is transiting your 11th house, which means you're less focused on your purpose and how you make an impact on the world, and instead focusing on what brings you the simple pleasures in life. This is my natal North and South Node axis. And what this really means in transit is prioritizing what feels good to you. What brings an enjoyable life for you? Is it going dancing? Is it having fun with friends? You're prioritizing the simple pleasures in life and the value it brings you by releasing biased ideas of what purpose, meaning, impact, and serving humanity mean to you. Instead, focusing on self-enjoyment less so than being selfless and leaving a mark on humanity. If the North Node is transiting your 6th house, you are focused on prioritizing your health habits, routines, and schedules, doing the nitty-gritty work, going to the gym, making the detox salad, juicing the greens juice to better your health. This is a time for you to focus on growing into your health and the habits and work that serves you. This is really about refining your day-to-day schedules and how that affects your well-being. This also means that the South Node is transiting your 12th house, which means releasing any sort of inner work process that no longer serves you. This may be realizing that therapy is keeping you stuck, or meditating every day is not doing as much practical help as it should be. If the North Node is transiting your 7th house, you are growing into your one-on-one relationships, whether that is friendships or romantic partnerships, or business partnerships, actually. Overall, with the North Node in 7th house, this means that you're growing towards connecting with other people and less on selfishness and focus on your own sense of self-identity, because the South Node is therefore transiting in your 1st house, which means that you're releasing what no longer serves you in your sense of self and discovering what is to be valued and discovering parts of yourself through the lens of your one-on-one relationships. It's like relationships are a mirror, but also relationships are more fulfilling during this time and also a place for you to do more growth. If the North Node is transiting your 8th house, you are growing towards more intimate connections. This is really about going deep with other people and also learning the value of trust and sharing. This means that also the South Node is transiting your 2nd house, so maybe you're realizing patterns around being overly self-sufficient or being overly focused on financial gain that aren't serving you. Really, the North Node transiting your 8th house is about cultivating a deep human experience, whether that's deep with a romantic partner, deep in the sense of letting go of certain material security, or deep even in the sense of sharing space with others to have other people in your life. This is about learning the value of sharing, learning the value of intimacy, both intimacy in the sense of romantic, but also intimacy in the sense of sharing something with people, whether that's finances, mental, or physical. If the North Node is transiting your 9th house, you are growing into your personal beliefs and ideologies, focusing on living in alignment with what you value, what you believe, and working more in alignment with that rather than what is considered practical in a sense, meaning that the South Node is transiting your 3rd house while the North Node is transiting your 9th. And so instead of focusing on what is mundane, focusing on what gives you a connection to a daily network, you're growing towards cultivating what personal beliefs matter most to you and trying to live a life in alignment with that. And so oftentimes that can mean travel and stepping into the unknown, since the 9th house is the house of travel. But overall, this really is rooted back into discovering what you consider is purpose. Consider why we are here. If the North Node is transiting your 10th house, you are growing towards your career and recognition. This is a time for career leaps, bounds, and massive growth, and for you to be more recognized for the work you do. If you're working in a career that's not in alignment with you, oftentimes this can bring growth and shifts so that you get into the career that is in alignment with you. And with the North Node transiting your 10th house, this means that the South Node is transiting your 4th house, which means that you're releasing what no longer serves you in your home life, things that are taking up space and time in your home life, to make space for your career, for recognition, for your profession. The North Node is transiting your 11th house. This means that you're prioritizing your purpose and focusing on what is going to leave a mark on humanity and focusing on what your individual purpose for being here is. This also means that the South Node is transiting your 5th house, which means that you're letting go of the things that you do for the sake of pleasure that aren't really bringing you life fulfillment, to make space for doing things that leave an impact on this world, for finding your personal purpose in doing big aspirations, big projects that give you a sense of purpose and reason for being here. And finally, if the North Node is transiting your 12th house, this means that you are focusing on growing into understanding your unconscious mind instead of doing these health habits that are supposed to be serving you. With the North Node transiting your 12th house, this means that the South Node is transiting your 6th house, which means that you're releasing the health habits and routines that are no longer serving you to make space for more inner work, inner processes, and understanding the unconscious thoughts that are keeping you limited. So you're growing in your understanding of your unconscious mind and reprogramming your mind truly. So those are really quick summaries on what it means to have the North Node and South Node transiting each house in your chart. So let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a longer video breaking down one of these in particular, and I'll be sure to film a video on it. Let me know what is the North Node and South Node currently transiting for you. The North Node is currently in Pisces. So what is the North Node transiting for you? Is it your 1st house, your 2nd house, your 3rd? How do you see these themes playing out? Did this resonate for you? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sure there's other people down in the comments who would love to hear these thoughts as well, because they're probably experiencing the same transit as you to some degree. So let me know in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. If you want to learn more about how this is affecting you, these current transits, book a reading down below and check out my other resources if you want to learn more about astrology in general. Once again, my name's Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.